if my phone or if the device is sitting on my chest and it looks at the house, and can it actually try to calculate and tell you whether you can afford that house or not, or if you have to buy that house, what you should be doing as a financial plan, right? So think of it that is completely changing the way that you're interfacing with things today.
How can we make that experience personalized? Because even now at this day and age, buying a home is a crazy process. Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast, Everything Product. In this podcast, we talk about various technology insights, latest product management concepts, and we also host wide variety of technology leaders shaping up our industry. And I'm also excited about today's episode as well. We have Elangovan Shanmugam, a technology leader who is shaping up our financial technology industry. Ilangovan is a distinguished engineer and a director at Intuit Tech Futures. He has over 30 years of experience building high scalable, performing, and reliable products throughout our industry. He has been very instrumental in several innovations at Intuit. He has won the prestigious Scott Cook Innovation Award not just once, but twice. He has over 20 different software patents, and he is also a tech advisor at several startups and charitable organizations. Elangovan, thank you so much for spending time with the Everything Product team today.
Thanks for that warm welcome, and I'm excited to be here and honored to be here with you guys. I think you gave a great introduction, so I want to just add a little bit more on top of it, just to put the context around it. When you said financial applications, I was in Intuit for several years now, to be precise, 18 plus years. In this time, I worked as Mint chief architect and took the whole company into public cloud. So there's a system engineering aspect of things I've done quite a bit. Now I'm into a new journey where I started with this group called Intuit Futures, where we've been exploring a lot in AI space along with our data team and the AI team, and so this has been an exciting and learning experience for me, very humbling experience at this point because of the industry trend changing into AI.
Elangovan, if you can start with explaining what hyper-personalization is and how it differs from the typical personalization techniques that we use.
Yeah, the computer industry and the software industry has come a long way, right? And when you started on this thing called personalization way back, it is simple, put the name, put some date, and maybe put some location where you are from. But from that to now, it's gone beyond. Like you said, if you look at all the things that are there, let's say Amazon is an example, right? You go to the homepage, your homepage is very different from my homepage, right? And same with YouTube, same with Netflix, and those things started with simply by having the recommendation system, knowing the customer, you are going to offer them the right amount of content and which is relevant for them, so that you can actually create much more interest for them as opposed to doing something else. So now hyper personalization is adding a little bit more twist to that. Recommendation systems are also AI based in the past, right? There are a lot of things are happening behind the scenes. Now with the hyper personalization, you think of the real-time data merging with models and providing you unique experience for this customer, right? Only this customer is matter for me at this point in time. My application maybe today is a simple application, single application, where there are generalized experience for many customers. But now with the AI, things can be changed. It is very, very different. It becomes the unique experience, right? That is more critical here for this particular user, right? That's what's called hyper personalization.
The future of the cyber personalization. How do you see evolving it in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh yeah, so 5 to 10 years is a long time, and the way that the industry is moving right now, right?
Yeah.
What I could think of is right. You see the industry trends, right? The experiences are going to be vastly different from it is only just by keyboard and the phone interfaces, right? There will be probably the metaverse interfaces or the goggles, right? Or maybe simple goggles as opposed to the heavy ones that we have right now. Even going to be a lot more interfacing with avatars right? The digital avatars that can can communicate, because LLMs can actually interpret all these things. Now look at humanoid bots are coming up, right? So they are going to be sitting around in your in your living room with you, right, and doing things for you, right? So the things are changing so differently, and predicting for 5 to 10 years may be a little hard, but next 2 to 3 years is like going to be like a huge shift from how we are actually interfacing today with keyboards and the phones is going to change a lot, right? I can imagine everybody's sending messages through voices, some natural languages, no more forms that you are going to be presenting to the customers, because you can speak to them, right? And these things are going to change the way that the humans are interacting with the computers, right? So we have to watch out for all these things as a product managers. I think your responsibility to look for what's the best way to provide this kind of experiences to the customers is going to be huge.
Yeah,
That
I
is
think
true.
this has been one of, I think, for a lot of product managers, I'm sure out there from leadership, the question has been like, make sure your use cases, your stories include the something related to AI whenever you're writing PRDs. So that's been one of the common asks from leadership these days.
Right. I think so. The way that I would say, right, the customer problems are still the customer problems, right? How do we solve that with the different ways is what we are actually shifting it, right? In my mind, this is what Scott Cook taught us, right? Look for the customer problem. Do not fall in love with your solution, right? So when you hear that, now we need to figure out what are the problems that we are actually solving, which will change the experience completely, how it was done before versus the future. Right? That is, I think, is the difference with the AI, right? And we may say AI is a solution for searching for problems. Now it is changing. It is becoming day to day now, right? You see everywhere that is there even before you realizing it, right? So therefore, now we need to interface with them, interface with these computers completely differently, right? It could be computer today, it could be something else, right? You remember, you saw these devices sitting on your chest, and you walk with those devices, right? It's still yearly, right now they are not quite there out there, but they can all now change. They can actually help you as you are walking in the roads, right? So yeah, it's going to be an interesting thing. And way back, I think maybe Funny remembers this, and I think one of the things that we discussed about was, let's say I walk on my on a street, and I see suddenly there is a for sale board on a, let's say, property. If my phone or if the device is sitting on my chest, and it looks at the house, and can it actually try to calculate and tell you whether you can afford that house or not, or if you have to buy that house, what you should be doing as a financial plan, right? So think of it that, right, that is completely changing the way that you're interfacing with things today, right? Obviously, today people are sitting in the home and couch, and they are looking for properties in Zillow or other places. But imagine a way to think about experiencing even that, right? Let's say I'm looking at Zillow, right, and in the property you are seeing, the moment you click on it, can there something else watching out, and the agent maybe, right, watching out and telling you, hey, whether you can buy this house now, or you should plan for purchasing the house, put a financial plan for you, right? That is, in my opinion, the changing the world, how you the AI is changing the world, how you interface with things.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think,
I remember the deep discussion, Ilango, and we had like multiple times where how can we make that experience personalized? Because even now at this day and age, buying a home is a crazy process. Like you will be looking at some 15 houses, 20 houses just to figure out what you want. Like imagine a world where instead of having like hundreds of options where everything is different, I could give my preference, and a hyper personalized product comes back and says, hey, these four are the critical ones that will be like extremely good for you and your interest. And it could give a visual of how it looks like, tells me the financials and stuff, and then gives a detailed explanation to say, hey, this is how you buy it. And then if you buy it now, this is how it's going to look like. And then if you want to invest in the future, these are all the additional things that you could look at. That would be amazing. Yep.
No, I'm saying like maybe funny. It's not we giving the preferences, but the recommendation engine figuring out what we like and showing
Yeah.
us all of the stuff, right? Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, no, exactly. I mean, that's I think is the way, right? I mean, that's where the product manager's mind is going to be shifting and seeing, constantly thinking about what are the new ways but we can actually help the customers to achieve their goals. Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Elangovan. Thank you so much for spending time and giving all the valuable insights. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you, Elangovan.
Awesome.
It was a pleasure talking to you folks.
Same here.